Hello everybody, welcome back to another First Play on Launch Day review. This is Zaxtor99, and this game, this indie game, is hell. Abstract hell, that is. Well, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, what the hell is Abstract Hell, Zaxter? Well, it's a brand new indie game brought to us and on Steam right now, just came out earlier today, from the developer Nathan Best and the publisher Ruby 3 Productions. Both of these are the same person. Now, Nathan Best, you may not remember, but he is a developer who uploaded his first indie game on Steam last May of 2018, and his game was so well coded and so well polished that it made one of my 12 or 13 indie gold selections of the year. It was a fantastic breakout or Arkanoid style break the brick kind of a game, and it was my first game that beat one of the most polished, most fun, crazy action, breakout style games in many, many years. And that game scored an impressive 95%. So now we have a game called Abstract Hell. And after playing it just a couple of times, I can tell you this game is absolutely gorgeous. It's very well coded. But oh my god, is this game hard. So imagine a PacMan game where you have to go clear all the dots on the maze. But instead of PacMan, just gobbling up dots, imagine your PacMan has the ability to rotate in 360 degrees and shoot his enemies. Well, now imagine that PacMan doesn't just have simple ghosts, but has, I believe, 7 different enemies that can move faster than you and explode. Abstract Hell is an extremely difficult game, and we're going to go ahead and add a user tag here for this game, and we're definitely going to be calling this difficult, and we're also going to go ahead and call this Indie Action Casual is what he has right now. I would not say this is casual. I would call it arcade as well. And it's not multiplayer. We're gonna call this a bullet hell kind of game because I think it kind of is because there's so many enemies at once. And we're gonna go ahead and add those user tags to the game. And we're going to come back right after this and let you know if Abstract Hell is worth your $9.99. It does have a 20% discount its first week. That's in U.S. currency. We're going to be back and review this game and give Abstract Hell its first review right after this. Alright, welcome back everybody to Abstract Hell. Now this is a game, his second game, the developer's second game that he coded himself from the ground up in the Godot engine. So that is kind of a new, completely free to use game engine that's really powerful, and people have been making some really nice games with that engine. I haven't ever used it, but I can tell you one thing, this developer here, for his first 2 games on Steam, has created a couple of really nice games to upload on Steam. And it shows. Now, when we launch Abstract Hell, we have stock levels, we have custom levels, and we have auto-generated levels. So I think it's really cool that you can just go in and play a completely procedurally generated level. You can go in and create your own levels if you want to, or you can go into the stock levels that he's created. Here's where you go into the editor to create your own levels if you want to. Here you can come into the settings, you can control the master volume and the music. Let's go ahead and turn the music down just a little bit here. And leave the master volume up a little bit. Alright. And then info is all the information he's used, like his sound effects that he used from Freesound, music loops, and you know the giving credit to the one music song that he used, and particle effect sprites. That's pretty cool. So we can go to the desktop, or we can go ahead and go into a game. So let's just go into the stock levels and show you how impossibly hard this game is. Also, it looks like this developer, he plans on increasing the number of levels, you know, the stock levels that he has in the game. But trust me, you may be looking at that saying only 10 levels. What the heck? Go buy this game. Try the first level. I haven't beat the first level yet. I haven't even come close to beating the first level yet. And then remember, you have the ability to create procedurally generated levels or create your own levels. So there is plenty of content here, trust me, and well more challenge than most people will ever need. But let's go ahead and go into the welcoming level, shall we? So right here, you're going to see, here's your character. You can rotate. I'm using my my controller. I would definitely recommend using a controller, because trying to use WASD to move and your arrow keys to you use your mouse to actually look, but it's a lot easier with a controller, I do believe. Okay, so once you move, if you take that hit, notice I drop down in health. I start with 50 health, but you will regain your health over time. You just don't want to take too much damage too quickly. Okay, so I'm holding my A button on my controller to fire. Now, it's not a twin stick shooter, if you're wondering that. It is holding down your A button to fire. But see right there how I got trapped. I'm getting pushed back into the wall there. I am taking so much damage here. And all these different types of enemies, a lot of them can move through the wall. These pink ones here explode. I believe they home in on you and explode. And I just exploded because I took too much damage. It is not an easy game, guys. Now, the energy as you shoot will go down, but as you eat more of these things, I believe your energy will go up quicker. I also believe your energy goes up over time, even if you're not eating the little pellets. But to clear the maze, much like Pac-Man, you have to eat all the pellets. Look at all these enemies right in the middle there. We're going to try to clear out. I'm sure, like, on these custom levels, I'm sure there's a pattern you can come up with that'll help you, you know, clear a level a little better. It's just playing the game enough to figure out what your pattern's going to be. Oh my god. So I'm down at half health right now. Under half health right now. And the fact that there's so many enemies constantly spawning is what makes the game really hard. This is why I call this game a bullet hell. This is why I put my own tag on this game as a bullet hell. I just got pushed through the wall right there. I don't know if that's intended by the developer, but getting pushed through the wall feels and seems a little bit buggy. So, but I mean, we just have so many enemies here, guys. I had it down to 15 little pellets or tokens left to eat. On this level, we only have 83, but I think what you want to do is, on this level, you probably want to get all these out of the middle first, because we saw how many enemies were spawning right there in the middle. So I think getting rid of the pellets that I need to eat on the middle is going to be a smart idea on this level. And then you have all these little places where, these little corners where you're going to get ganged up on if you're not careful. Oops. See, like right here, you got to get up there and get those, but look at this. And then just trying to get out of there alive. I had, what, 18 health is all? We have 7. All we have is 7. Guys, all I had was those 7 tokens left. Can I... Okay, we know what we got to do now. We got to clear all these out of the middle first. I was down to only 7 pellets left. Or tokens, as the developer calls them. Alright. We would have cleared our first level ever. Or my first level ever, anyway. No, I'm taking too much damage again. Again, guys, all I got is a 7 down there. Woo! We got it! First time I beat a level. And now we are on the second level. I'm already getting beat up on here. Oh, we have a key door this time. That's cool. So you have to collect keys to open certain rooms. I like it. Alright. I almost wish there was like weapons that you could pick up that would help you fire better, or little health potions that would restore your health that would spawn or something. I think that would... I know the developer, when he gave me a key, I would like to go and thank the developer for offering me a free evaluation key to his game. But I know he said if you had suggestions or whatever, maybe that would be a suggestion, is, you know, little random either power-ups that make you fire faster, or that leave a bomb that can blow up a whole bunch of enemies at once, or little health potions or something that would spawn, so when you collect them, you instantly restore your health. Or maybe you increase your health from 50, your maximum health from 50 to 55 or something like that. I feel like the game needs something else to help the player, because this game is so freaking hard right now. I mean, it's a lot of fun. The controls are beautifully done. Like, the movement is really, really tight and responsive. This is so hard. Okay, we haven't got a key yet. There's just so many of these things. No, they pushed me back there again. It's not an easy game, I'll tell you that, guys. We're down at 2 health. We're down to 2. This is what I'm talking about. Finding like a power-up right now that could restore my health, you know, that would maybe randomly spawn by me, could be a lifesaver. And I think it would feel really good in those dire situations where you're down to just like, you know, 3 health or whatever, and all of a sudden you see one of those health pickups spawn somewhere near you. I think that could make this game, I think that could take this game over the top. Help balance it as well, but I think it could be a really fun addition to the game. Like, people would be so dependent on those things. They'd be like, oh man, a health fella didn't spawn, that's why I died. Maybe even make them, I don't know, make them look like a little band-aid or something. I don't know. Health kit, little health kit, I guess, would work. But yeah, this is a super fun game, guys. And another cool thing about this developer is, you know, I think he's an indie developer. He's coded and made all this stuff himself. And he's going to be really receptive to ideas. So if you want to jump in and play the game, and maybe you agree that the game's too hard, or maybe you have your own idea for the developer, as long as it doesn't completely break his, you know, what he has here and completely change it, he'll probably be pretty receptive to taking ideas and maybe implementing your idea into his game. Which, you know, that would be really rewarding, to buy a game and maybe give him some suggestions on the forums or whatever, and see some of your ideas emerge in the game, and then you could be like, wow, this game on Steam, man, I kind of helped the developer make the game better or whatever. It'd be pretty rewarding feeling, I think. I can't even get out of here, guys. Like, there's so many of these things that's spawning, and they spawn so quickly. Fun game though, guys. It is a super fun game, guys. Let's go ahead and talk about this game. The only concern I had for the game, and I said this to the developer when he first gave me a key, and I asked him how much it was going to be, and he said $10 US. I mean, I looked at the type of game that it was, and that was really my biggest concern for him and his game, was the price. I know that there's a ton of games that, you know, are sort of like this in a way, kind of, you know, either twin stick shooters or bullet hell kind of games like this. A lot of them don't have pellets you got to eat like this, and certainly don't have the ability to create your own levels, so I think that's, you know, definitely worth something. But I was a little bit concerned that he might be charging a little bit too much for this kind of a game, even though this game oozes quality. It's really, really well programmed, and you can tell the developer really wanted to create a quality game that's fun to play. But my concern was that I just don't know if most people are going to be willing to fork out $10, you know, for a game that looks like this. Maybe not knowing how well the game runs, but I do believe he's going to have a demo that you can play as well. But let's go ahead and grade it, guys, based on what I'm seeing here, my first impressions. It is very, very difficult. I will warn you about that. I remember when I first launched my first game, Rock and Roll, on Steam back in summer of 2017, how people told me how incredibly crazy hard Rock and Roll was. And, you know, I did things over time, like I added different power-ups and stuff like that to make it a little bit easier, but I also created more bosses over time as well to make the game harder. But overall, I do think Rock and Roll is an easier game now than it used to be. But Rock and Roll was never even close to being as difficult as this game is. This game is just very, very difficult. Maybe I haven't played it yet and learned all the little tricks, but I've played enough of these kind of games that I think I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. But, I mean, you do regenerate health over time, which is nice. There's a couple of things I don't like to the developer. Like getting pushed through walls is, it feels cheap, and I don't like it. So I think you need to make sure that enemies cannot push you through a wall. And if you do get pushed through a wall, here's what I would do if I was a developer. In situations where maybe make some code where the code, you know, you have a line of code looking for your character getting pushed into a wall. And if you do get pushed through a wall, I can understand that there's so many enemies around you pushing at you, and maybe the developer intended for you to sometimes get pushed through walls. But I think that if you do get pushed through a wall, I think the wall should break. I just think that would look and feel a lot better if you saw the wall break wherever you get pushed through it. It might feel better. You'd have to test it. But that's just an idea. But anyway, guys, let's go back to my scoring. The value on this game is worth 40 points. That's part of my scoring. This is probably going to be the one that's the toughest for me to give him a high score on. Because to get a good value score, I looked for a game that's not only fun to play, but a game that I think that the average player that buys the game is going to put as many hours into the game over the next 6 months to a year that they spend in dollars on the game. And I go by the regular price. I don't go by the sell price. So 10 hours. Do I think the average player is going to buy this game and play it for 10 hours over the next year? I don't know. If they really like these kind of games, or they really fell in love with this one, maybe. They might, you know, get 20, 30, 40 hours in the next year. But honestly, I feel like most people are going to play this over the next year, maybe 5 hours at best for the average player. And that's probably being really, really generous. You're talking about a cost to play this game of $2 per hour for the average player, what I think the average player is going to put into it. I mean, the ability to create your own custom levels and stuff like that, we're going to go ahead and give him some extra value points on things like that, because some people might, you know, find a lot of fun by going in and spending an hour on the game, just creating a couple of their own levels or whatever. So you definitely have some value there. I'm going to give the game, I'm going to start at 20 out of 40 for my value. But then I'm going to go ahead and give this developer, because the game is so responsive, so well made, and oozes so much quality, and the fact he has an auto-generating, procedurally level generating thing, I think that adds some replay value to the game when you can have, you know, auto-generated levels that are different every time, and the fact that you can create your own levels. I think that really adds some value to the game. So I'm going to go ahead and give him 10 extra points, and we're going to give him an overall score of a 30 out of 20. I mean, a 30 out of 40, a 30 out of 20. A 30 out of 40 for value. How much fun is the game? The game's actually a hell of a lot of fun. It's that kind of like, it's the fun like that Miami, what is that game, Christian? Miami what? That really difficult shooter? Hot Vice Miami or something like that? Can't think of what I'm thinking about, but there's a lot of these really difficult games that are really popular on Steam that are extremely difficult, and this is definitely one of them, and it definitely has that replayability, addictive nature that's going to have you playing again and again as you try to beat, you know, like the first level, or now you try to beat this level, now that you beat the first level, or whatever. So it has that play it again and again type of addictiveness, I think. And, you know, this is going to be kind of the subjective part of my scoring, because what's really fun to me may not be fun at all to you, or vice versa. You know, I might find a game that's only a 5 out of 30 for my fun that you may think is the most fun game you've ever played. But for me, guys, I think the fun's pretty high on this one. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 25 out of 30 for fun. Next criteria is controls and bugs. The controls and bugs couldn't be better. I am going to go ahead and take 2 points away, because right now I feel like getting pushed through a wall feels kind of like a bug, just because of the way it feels. So I think if he did something with that, either made it so you can't get pushed through a wall, or made it so if you did get pushed through a wall, maybe the wall breaks. I just think that would feel a lot better and look a lot better to the player. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and give him 18 out of 20 points. Otherwise, the controls are spot on, and I'm really surprised that I am taking 2 points away from him, because this game, it almost feels like I'm cheating him by giving it 18 here, just because the game runs and controls so well. But 18 out of 20 for controls and bugs. And the next criteria is graphics and sound. For this type of a game, you know, how good are the graphics and sound? The music is phenomenal. I think everything sounds really good. I think the sounds are definitely a 10 out of 10. And graphics for this type of a game are really well done as well. I like the way the enemies kind of bust up into a bunch of different colored sparks when you shoot them. Everything is nice and vibrant. The colors look really good. Everything looks really good in the game. But overall, I think the sound in the music is better than the graphics. I'm going to go ahead and give this game a 9 out of 10 for graphics and sound. So we add that all up, guys. 30 out of 40 for value. 25 for fun is 55. 18 out of 20 for controls and bugs. We come up to a 73. And then 9 out of 10 for graphics and sound. You add that all up, you come up with an 82%. An 82%, so this game did not score as high on my scoring as Brickfest did. It got a 95. His first game got a 95% and made it Indie Gold Selection of the Year. But remember, guys, that this game also costs twice as much by default. I think Brickfest is a more fun, more polished game. It's just more fun as well, in my opinion, and it costs half the price. So definitely check out my review. I'll have it linked down below if you guys want to check out his first game, Brickfest. But this game still scores at a really impressive score, an 82. That's higher than an 8 out of 10, and that's still a very respectable score. And who knows, you might like this game more than I do, and you might think this game is better than Brickfest yourself, and think it's worth the extra, the extra money. But my score, 82%, guys. Definitely a really high recommendation on this game. And if you like these, these kind of shooter games, especially if you like PacMan games and maze games, then you might want to give this game a shot. And remember, you have that 2-hour refund policy on Steam. But I think if you like these kind of games, I think you're going to be so in love with the challenge level, the difficulty. See, I just got pushed through a wall right there, and it looked really weird. So I think if it would have busted the wall when I got pushed through there, I think it would have, I just would have felt better and looked better and not felt so cheap or so much like a bug. But maybe the developer will do something with that. Maybe he won't. I really do believe that if the developer could add in some random health kits or something like that would restore your health, maybe different levels of them, maybe a blue one and a green one. The green one does more health restoration, maybe a green one is more rare, but it fills your health all the way up, and a blue one gives you 20 health or something like that. I just think that could really add a lot to this game. I think it could help balance that game out so it's not so damn hard. Obviously you don't want these things spawning all over the place, just maybe a random rare chance, or maybe you only get 2 or 3 per level, or something like that, or maybe only one spawns every minute to minute and a half, something like that. You'd have to play around with it, but I think adding some health kits to the game that spawn randomly, on rare occasion, could feel really, really nice when you see them, and especially when you're in danger, you can be like, oh hell yeah! I just think it could add a lot to this game. So we'll see if the developer, does anything with that suggestion, or if he does anything with my suggestion to make the wall explode if you get pushed through the wall. But 82% right now is my score, guys. I like this game. It's just not one of my Indie Gold selections of the year. Be sure you check out Brickfest if you haven't already seen that video. His first game that came out last May, a game that made an instant hit in my book on Steam, and one of the best breakout games you can buy on Steam today. So this has been Zaxtorian, and this is Abstract Hell. Again, my score an 82%, and this is this developer's second game on Steam. Definitely check out my review of Brickfest down in the description below, and check that game out, and check my video out if you haven't seen that game or my review for that game yet. Be sure you let me know as well what you think down in the comments below, and be sure you like my video, guys. This has been Zaxtorian. Take care, everybody.